Welcome to the channel. This week on the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, it's all about a winter revamp of the strawberry bed. We lift the strawberries, we split them, we tidy the plants up and we replant them. That's after doing a revamp to the strawberry bed itself. Then we look at all the extra strawberry plants that we have and what you can do with them. Come potter with me in the garden. My name is Dawn and I am the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. Good afternoon. Well, it is Sunday. It's the last day of autumn, if you go by the calendar. So tomorrow is officially winter. So what am I up to today? Right, well, I'm going to start, it's a reasonably big job, the strawberry bed. It takes me a while. Every 2 years, I lift my strawberries, split them, top up the soil, get everything sorted, put new wool matting down, plant in the split strawberries, the best of them, and then cover it up, because when I've put wool matting down, Beau especially, but Lou will help him, will rip it up and spread it right around the garden. So it's coming up around about 1:30. I've popped out for a couple of hours work, probably at the most. It's one of those weird Canterbury nor'west days in winter which aren't actually that warm. So yeah, it's warm, but it's not warm. So I'm going to start this and we'll do a bit of speedy at some point. It's going to be a multi-day thing, because I'm not going to have to work my way all the way through this in a couple of hours. And we'll look at how to do it at some point during that time. So we'll look at how to do it at the beginning. I'll do a couple and show you what I'm doing. Lifting and splitting the strawberries. I usually do the bed in sections, just to break it down into manageable hunks. Once I've got one section lifted and split, then I'll top up the soil, lay down the new wool, and then replant. And I try and do that in one session, so that the strawberry roots get put back in straight away. There's nothing wrong with having them out for a few days if you protect them. So, I mean, bare root strawberries are sold any time from basically tomorrow through till August-ish, depending on what part of the country you're in. After that, you tend to find that they're sold as potted strawberries, and bare root strawberries transplant really well. You can keep them for, I would say, no more than a week, and you need to keep the roots moist but not wet, because like sopping, sitting in water, because they'll rot. I wrap mine normally in newspaper, but I'm out of newspaper, so I'm going to be wrapping my spare ones in handy towel. So paper's usually best. It's can mould around the roots and keep the roots nice and moist but not wet. And then I usually, if they're giving away or whatever I do with them, I pop them in a plastic bag, just to keep the paper towel or the paper wet. Right, we'll get started. Ta-da! Just what I need in the middle of my strawberry patch. He's going to give close supervision, because I'm just about to pull that one out. But yeah, that's our Lou. You just got to be part of it, don't you, Bubba? Hey, you're just going to be part of it? You're going to say hello to everyone, or are you just going to be a big goofball? You're just going to be a big goofball. Thank you, Lou. Rightio, so you're not going to get to see me in this. You can see the strawberries, which is the important things. So the old matting's basically stuffed, so I'll just be replacing that. I did put some new matting down last winter that had got destroyed by the cats, but I'm just going to replace everything this time. Okay, so this is one crown. It's divided itself into three, and I'm just going to lift this out. It should come out. I've already removed the dead leaves the other day. I had 20 minutes out here just mucking around at the end of a day. So up it comes. There we go. They're fairly shallow rooted, so they're not hard to do. And what I need to do now, get rid of the excess soil. This time with the wind, it's blowing everywhere, sorry, all over my face. And what I'm going to do is start splitting it. So you can see three distinct areas here. They're the same plant, it's just it's split itself as it's grown over the 2 years. Just going to roughly split that one up, and you can see where the root was that joined it. Okay, and I'm just going to get rid of the rest of the dirt on this one. As you can see, just keep getting rid of it. It's a bit dry in here. I did water the other day, but Canterbury's just dry as at the moment. We haven't had any decent rain for over a month, so the beds are very dry. Okay, so that's got rid of most of the soil, as you can see. So that there is ready to split. So when it comes to splitting them, I've split that big lump into little bits. It's about finding where they'll naturally separate, and you can see that sort of wriggling quite nicely. And it's part of a larger root, and it's just about gently pulling that away. There we go. Like that. Okay. And then it's about tidying that up. So just anything that's dead, snip off, because you don't want that. And you can see the new foliage just starting there. And I would take that one off as well and just leave it like that. Right, and then you just look for the next one, and that just sort of gently came apart like that. There we go. Here's the next one. Nice root system. Just need to tidy up. Oops. Don't worry if that happens, because it's the roots that are important at the moment, not the rest of it. So that'll come away. It's got good root system. I'm just popping it in underneath the wet stuff there to keep them going. And this one here, it's just about whether we'll get two out of this or one. So what I might do, just to save that so I get two, is actually physically split it myself with them. There we go, and I've got roots on both that way. So, and just tidy that up, get rid of all the extra bits, pop it under its nice wet blankie so the roots stay moist. Before you're planting these, you're going to soak them. You give them about 20 to 30 minutes of soaking so that the roots are rehydrated. But because you're planting again, it is good to get rid of the really big leaves, because it's just extra space area for the actual plant to lose moisture, so you don't need a lot. Just tidy it up. There we go. Tuck him under his nice moist blankie too. There we go, that's splitting those ones up, and we'll go on after I've done a few more. Right, this is one that I haven't done anything to earlier, tidied up or anything. I've literally just pulled the wool matting out from around it and popped my little trowel under it and lifted it up, and it's come out as one big messy clump with dead strawberries on it and dead leaves and everything like that. But as you can see, it's a big clump, and it's got lots and lots in there that just need tidying up and dividing. And as you get rid of the soil, as I said, it'll sort of show you where it's going to divide. And you just keep going and keep going. I've got a little ice cream container full from 2 plants now, and I'll keep the strongest ones and plant them here once I've done these 4. I'm only going to do 4 to start with, tidy it up. As I said, I do it in sections, it's just easier, and then the plants are out of the soil not as long. If I did the whole bed at once, they'd be out for a few days with my pace. If you've got any flowers that are coming up or fruit, just remove them. The plant doesn't need that strain on it at the moment. Just remove all that other stuff till you get down to, like, I've actually got some old fruit on there that will just be going into the compost. And there's another one ready to go. Good stalk there, good roots. Now what happens when you get one like this? I've tidied all the extraneous stuff off with no real root system on it. Well, have a check, and if you've got some sort of funny little protrusions out like that, I'm not sure if the camera's focusing in on them, it's worth at least potting that up onto a separate pot, because that could take off, because it's got little areas that could be roots. And the thing about a strawberry, as you know, when they put out the runners, they just look for a spot with a nodule like that, go into the dirt and put their own runners out. So if you sit that onto a pot of dirt and maybe use something like a bent over paper clip to hold it in place, it may take, so don't waste it, it can be used. And you know, if it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it, it goes into the compost bin. Right, another example, lots of root, no top. Do you think it's binnable or not? I'd actually plant that, because this bit here that looks half dead and revolting is actually the crown. And if you plant it so that the crown is above the dirt like that, okay, there's a really good chance that that'll actually take and you'll get another strawberry plant. But I wouldn't be planting this in my main bed at the moment. I'd be putting this in a pot for later. I often pot up extras just in case one of the ones I do put in my garden for whatever reason doesn't take. I mean, when you dig them up and do this, there's always a chance that they won't take. So having a few spare is always good. Okay, you can't see me, but you can see the soil, and that's the important thing. So I've removed 4. It's taken me a while, it always does. So I've cleaned up most of them, and prepped them ready to go back in. Now this soil is really dry. I did water, there's a wee bit of moisture down there, but I did water this extensively about 3-4 days ago. But yeah, as you can see, it's starting to get quite sandy too, so it's losing its organic matter, despite the fact that it's got bits of pieces in here from when I was just clipping before. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to water it, and I may leave this for the night now, and yeah, so then I'll put some new compost on it. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Good morning, it's Monday and it's the long weekend, so yeah. Not sure that a lot of people will be out in the garden this weekend, because I know that there's heavy rain warnings in some parts, but here the weather's just weird. We can see a nor'westish arch over Canterbury, high thickish cloud, getting thicker, but there's actually a nor'east blowing, so it's even getting into the back garden today. So it's not the warmest here, even though in the shade and in the shelter area it's registering 17. It doesn't feel 17. So yesterday I started on the strawberry patch, lifting and going through that, so there's some footage there, and I'll mix that and edit that with other bits and pieces as we go through the whole process. But I ran out of steam, it got cold and what have you, so yeah, I just gave up and went inside and warmed up again. Not sure how far I'll get today. I really would like to get a good part of the bed done. I've put everything out It's taken me about 20 minutes or so collecting the bits and pieces, because I also want to pot up some of those tiny wee bits that I got yesterday and see if they'll survive. And I had to get the wool matting, find the good scissors that will cut through the wool matting because it's quite thick, and a whole lot of other things. And Lou, bless his socks, was running around trying to get me to come out. He's buggered off now. He's given up on me. But it's just after 11ish, so I'm going to try and make a dent on this. Now, one of the things I did just before I finished yesterday was I watered the bed because it was bone dry, and I see that the locals are reporting on their local weather stations and things like that. This has been the driest May we've had on record. So one place had 3 millimetres for the whole of May. I can believe it. So I watered everything yesterday, A, because the bits that I need to do are better watered, but B, the bits that I need to put the new compost on and then the wool. It's better to try and get the soil, native soil that's already there, damp before you put more stuff on top, because it's so dry, even though this has been watered regularly over the last few weeks, that the water will just run through the new stuff and out any way it can, instead of actually going into the new soil. So it's important to try and get some water into the new soil first, the old soil first, then put the new soil on, and that way it'll work a bit better and stay hydrated. Now, strawberries are relatively shallow rooted, so it's not a huge thing, but it is better to have well hydrated soil rather than bone dry soil or hydrophobic soil. So that's what I did yesterday before I went in, and I'm going to give it another quick water in a minute, and then I'm just going to assess what I do first. Think I might pot up the little ones I've already got, then that's clear and I've got a clear slate going forward for the rest of the day. Okay, so I've set myself up to put on these strawberry bits and pieces. Don't use huge pots, A, because you don't want to use a lot of compost and or soil. Compost is better because it doesn't, soil can get really hard. Native soil, straight soil with nothing much in it. I've got the pots there, they're just a good size. Now, repots, if you're ever looking for pots, I get a lot of my pots, either my neighbours know that I garden a lot and drop them off to me, but I also, if I'm getting short on pots, I go into some of the big places like Bunnings or Mitre 10 or what have you, and it is a bit variable who does what, because each shop, big place is individual. But a lot of them have great big wire cages or whatever, and people put their leftover pots in them. And I'll often be seen head first into these cages, digging these pots out. And these little ones here, they're quite soft, but they're perfect for this sort of thing. And I just reuse, and if I don't get them back because the stuff's gone elsewhere, that's fine. But yeah, it's a good way of recycling these plastic pots by people putting them in those big bins at their local Bunnings, Mitre 10, whatever hardware shop or garden centre place that has them, and then others can come along and you reuse them. I've never been told not to. I actually got encouraged at one place. The guy gave me the thumbs up and said woohoo because someone was reusing them, and an employee. So yeah, I just do that, and I've only ever had to buy like plastic pots once when I was running really, really, really short, and I think everyone else had the same idea and had gone through the bins. But anyway, I'm going to repot these, not the pots, the strawberries. Oh dear. So some of these were a bit short on root, as you can see here. Now he has got, turn him over, he has got the little spiky pale roots, which are really good, and he's got a few longer ones. So I'm going to repot them, and then the other thing I do, because these things can fall out and lose their thing, is I use a paper clip, just because it's easy, and I just open it up like, just like that, and I just gently put it in and hold the plant in place. Now just remember, when you're planting strawberries, whether it's the bigger ones or these tiny little ones, leave the crown above the soil, because they don't like getting their crown wet, they'll rot. So I'll plant this up and I'll show you when I'm done. There he is. Got the wee clip in there. I don't know if you can see the wee peach clip in there, just holding him down. I've only left one leaf on him really. He's got another one coming up, but and I'll pop him in this tray here with his buddies, and I'll put it somewhere that I remember to water it regularly, because out of sight, out of mind. And I've got 8 pots here at the moment, counting this one, but I'm not sure if I'll use them all. So I'll get these done, and then we'll start moving back to the actual strawberry bed. Before I forget, first year strawberry plants usually put out runners. Now runners are at reproducing, and you'll get a long string and a nodule with what looks to be roots, which they are. So when you get first year plants, you need to make the decision, do you want to use the runners for first year plants or cut them off, because they do use energy from the plant to reproduce, as any plant would, or we do. So if you do decide that you want to keep some of them, this is a great way of doing that by getting a little pot, or if you've got a bed and you want to do them directly in the bed, or you've got a pot and you can do them in a bigger pot and just want to redo them in the bigger pot, just use these wee clips. You can buy other ones probably, but I just find paper clips easy because I've got them in the house. And just open them up into the U shape, and just where the runner's got the wee nodule with the new bit, just gently pop that over it and make sure that it's in contact with the dirt, and it should root by doing that, and then you'll get extra plants. But just be aware, it will take energy away from the first year plant, so you're going to get less fruit. But first year plants in general don't give as much fruit as second, third, and you can go through to fourth year if you want. I just find that my soil doesn't sustain that, so that's why I do mine every 2 years. But yeah, if you're like got a big open bed on the ground level, or even a raised bed that is okay for longer, yeah, you can just do that for your runners. Okay, so I got 6 there that are potted up, and I'm sure I'll be getting more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to top the soil up. I've just given it 2 waters this morning on top of what I did yesterday. So hopefully the original soil is now nice and wet, and I'm going to put in the new compost. Now I do it fairly high for a number of reasons, because the soil will sink, but also it just means that my strawberries are nice and high too, so that yeah, I just like them high. I'm not quite sure why. When you're planting strawberries, the main instruction sheets that you see around about to say, pop them up on a little hill. The reason being is that you're wanting your strawberries to drape down. With it being on this wool matting, I find I don't really have to worry about it too much, so I don't really bother about mounding them up. But if you're doing it on straight dirt or on straw or some other thing, yeah, you probably want to mound the up around the plant, just remembering not to cover the crown so that the strawberries can drape a bit more. I've got the soil in there, but I've decided that for the wool matting I'd rather use longer lengths this year, so I'm going to do this next section and lift all the strawberries, clear it up and get it ready, and then I'll put the wall matting down. Once the wall matting's down, then I'll put in the strawberry plants and rearrange the hose and things like that. I'm going to probably put in some extra drippers too, but that's later. So I think what we might do is a bit of music and a bit of speedy, and I'll slowly work my way through this bit, and then we'll come back at the other end. I've removed 8 old plants, thank you Kat, and redone the bed up to here. You can just see in shot here is my massive wall thing that I bought last year because part of my wall matting that I did put in the previous year it went mouldy and what have you, but we'd had that really wet summer, so yeah, it just gone funny. Oh, and it not just gone mouldy, but it also sort of got rigid and baked really hard. Most of it was from my food bag lining things that they had there that we were giving away because they weren't recollecting them. So lots of people had them stored in their garages, and I'd collect heaps. But I'd run out, so then I couldn't get any more, so I bought this, and at the time I thought, it's a bit excessive. It was $99, but it was free delivery, and everywhere else I looked were charging a fortune for delivery, so I went with this, and the stuff that I did put in seems to have held up okay. So what I'm going to do is cut a big hunk of this and lay it. And while I've removed 8, I'm only going to plant 6 today, leaving a gap unplanted area for later as I move further down. I'm planning to put in the same amount of strawberries I'm taking out, but I just need some working area as I go. Excuse the noise. It's a long weekend and people are out on their motorbikes and things like that, so it gets a bit noisy at times around here. And it's not actually here, it's quite a long way away, but the sound reverberates. Right, I'm going to cut this. It's going to take a bit of man handling or woman handling or person handling. And before I forget, the other thing I'm going to have to do after I've planted my strawberries today, albeit only 6, I'm actually going to have to cover them. Sorry. I'm going to have to cover them with netting, hoops and netting, because Beau is just sitting out at camera shot and he's eyeballing me. And yeah, I reckon as soon as I get this matting on, he'll be in there trying to rip it to bits. Right, wall matting down. It's not quite wide enough to do the whole bed, so I've got longer strips down the far side, and I'll need to cut holes for my sprinklers, and I'll need to cut holes for the strawberries themselves to go in. So that's fine. I'll do that in a minute. And we'll have a look at the type of plant that you want to put back in from what you've split. So here's one of my containers of cleaned up plants, and you're looking for the strongest basically of your plants. So I've had them sitting in wet kitchen wrap, kitchen towel, handy towel sort of thing. So this one's got a good root on it. It hasn't got a huge amount of foliage on it, but it doesn't need to, because you don't want a lot of foliage at the moment because of transpiration. Once you replant it, you don't want all the moisture going out of the plant as it re-establishes. So I'll probably look at that one. What else have I got in here? Now, I probably won't do that one because it's got a good root, but what I'll probably do is I'll pot this one up into a pot and see how it goes. It should be fine. It's got lots of root on it, but I want my really strongest ones for my bed. What else have I got in here? So yeah, that's another one that I'll probably keep for a pot. I've got some really good ones in here, I just have to find them. There we go. See, there's another one. Not a huge amount on the crown, but good root structure, so I'll use that one. That one I'll probably pot up. Think about that. Right, I've sorted 6 out, so yeah, pretty pleased with those. They've all got good long roots, good root structures. So I'll start putting them in, and to put them in, it's not hard really. This with the wool mat, I do need to make a hole in the mat. So just make a hole and then clip a cross, fold that back, make your hole and put it in. I'll pop one in. Where can I see? Yeah, probably. I'll put a couple in and then I'll show you one here. Right, you want your strawberries roughly 30 centimetres apart. So I know that if I do them across that way, it's roughly 30 centimetres. This garden knife is 15 centimetres to here, and then it's roughly about another 15 centimetres. So if I do that, I got my first strawberry just there. I want my next strawberry just here. So I'll pop that in there. Now, how do I do it? Well, once I've got the matting in, it is quite thick and quite hard to get through. So you need something sort of just to poke for the hole. And I'm using my old scissors. These won't cut the stuff, so but it will go through and make a hole so that I can get my better scissors through. So just jab through there, make a hole. Get my better scissors, and literally just snip across so that you've got. And I'm an awkward Annie, so I'll just have to do the best I can there. And this is where I get really awkward. Right, okay, so there's my cross. You don't want a huge one because you want to try and keep the mulch around thing. The other thing I do, just so that plant's got a wee bit of space, is just literally clip a wee triangle off each of my crosses, and it just gives the plant a wee space. Like that. And it leaves me with a wee diamond, which is what I want. So, okay, and then it's about putting your plant in there and just peel it back so you've got a gap, and I'll just make a wedge hole deep down, pop my strawberry in, make sure that I tuck all the roots in bring the soil together, making sure my crown is above the soil so it doesn't rot. Be under the wall-ish sort of, but you do not want it in the actual dirt. Then tuck her in, and that's it. Voila. Rinse and repeat along your border. And I'll make holes for this. This will probably sit in the middle. I know they're long tubes and what have you, but I was reusing the old holes because this is reused pipe from my veggie beds where it never really worked. So I just reused the old holes rather than goof plugging them, and just use slightly longer ones of these. So what I'm probably going to do, because the pressure was too much in the pipe, it kept blowing off the end even with extra clips, and especially if the pipe was hot, it would just go boing, and I'd end up with water all everywhere but where I wanted it. So I'm going to pop this one in between the 4 strawberries, and then the next one, which I've already got, will go between 4 strawberries. Yeah, I don't know, I'll have to think about it. I might do a crossover, so have one between those 4, one between those 4, and so that would get double the water. I'll have to think about that one because I don't want to overwater my strawberries, but I do need them to get a good amount. I'll leave putting the new ones in till after I've got everything in and done, and then I can make that choice. In the meantime, these guys can probably just lay on the bed so I'm not making extra holes in my wool till I'm absolutely 100% sure what I want to do with them. Right, I'm going to keep moving along here and plant the other 6. I've got the first hoop in just out of sight. Beau is lining up. He has spotted the wool. Yes, I can see you. Here he comes. He's probably just coming into... Yep, here he comes. See? He knows that there's new wool matting down there, and he's lining it up thinking, fun, Mum's put new stuff in, I'm going to rip the you-know-what out of it. Yes, and he's now sniffing the bag, trying to think, how can I destroy that as well? Yeah, you're not going to, because I'm going to put it away later. Yeah. So I'll get the first net up over here, and after I've got these in, because I know, yes I know. Right. I will keep moving along and I'll catch you when I've done the rest of these. Right, those 6 in, net up. Beau is very annoyed. He's just over that way. He is not impressed. Hubby gave me a hand to put it up and put up the defences. Yeah, because Beau knows. He was circling us while we were doing it. He knows there's new wool there to rip up. But I've hopefully blocked him off. It's not perfect, and it's just because I still haven't got past this point. So it's just sort of temporarily. I will actually cover it all winter. A, because Beau will try and destroy it because it'll be newish wool. B, because the wind, when we do get a southerly through here, it will just lift the wool. I have little bits of cut off blocks of wood from when the beds were made and what have you, that I pop on it till it really settles and gets well watered in. Once it's well watered in, it's not going to blow away or anything, and it's just because I'm in a high wind zone area, especially for the southerly along here. So yeah, I just put the net up, it breaks the wind a bit and stops the matting disappearing, and it also protects the strawberries a wee bit. When I first moved in here, my very first season with the raised beds, I had carrots seedlings that had just popped up, and we had a southerly through that was so strong that it actually took the tops off the young carrots. So yeah, it can be pretty damn strong through here, but now I tend to put the netting up because of the boys, whereas Charlotte, our previous cat, her and I had a understanding that where those little stakes are, those bamboo stakes are, you didn't go, and she was very, very good about that, whereas the boys tend to just sort of say, that's a challenge, and go for it, so the netting helps. Right, I'm going to deal with the leftover strawberry bits and things. I'm going to pot some of them up and do a few things with them. And depending on time and how cold it gets out here, because it ain't that warm now, I may do a few more strawberries, but otherwise I'll catch you tomorrow. Well, it's Friday morning, and I thought I'd just give you a quick update because I've been working on the bed on and off all week. Haven't had huge amounts of time out here at any one time. It's weather's been a bit, while it hasn't rained, it's just been cold. And it's a reasonably big job for me. So, yep, I've been chipping away at it and it's done. So I've just got to pull the net across now to stop Beau, but otherwise all the strawberries are in, and yeah, they're looking good. So I keep the water up to them over the next couple of weeks as they start to re-establish. If I see any flowers, just pick them off because you don't want your plant to put its energy into flowers. So yeah, come spring, they can do their flowering then and set strawberries. So that's all good. I'm really happy with that. I've still got 5 pots up there that I've got to split, but I can do that any time in the next few weeks, so that's good. But I wanted to get this bed done, and it is now done. So I'll leave that there now, and we'll see you in the coffee and chat. Well, it's that time for a coffee and chat, though I haven't got a coffee. It's just after lunch, and yeah, it's a bit early for an afternoon cup of tea yet. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot because I've done heaps during the actual vlog, but yeah, it was all about strawberries this week, and I hope that the information's useful. If you've got any questions, just pop them down in the comments and I'll see if I can answer them for you. I'd just like to thank those who have subscribed to date, but if you come to visit the channel for the first time or you're a revisit and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and then you'll get notifications of when I drop new videos. It is free to subscribe, so it would be lovely if you could come and join us. Right, I'm going to leave the vlog there now, and I will catch up with you at next week's vlog, so it's bye from me.